That was perfect, and I think that's part of this kind of story of the cloud and how the cloud is going to enable us to do many, many more things in the future. Our third technology speaker is from Cisco. We've heard a bit about Cisco today, and I'd like to introduce and welcome Wendy Carstairs to the stage. And Wendy is Head of Technical Strategy at Cisco, and hopefully we'll talk about the cloud, BYOD, and many other things. Please welcome Wendy.
Well, good afternoon. I usually speak to rooms full of network engineers and architects who I'm sure at 4:20 in the afternoon would be delighted to hear about encryption on devices and VPNs and the benefits of a Wi-Fi network. But I'm not going to do that to you today. I don't think this is appropriate. But what I am going to do is talk to you about the connected workspace and how we see a transition from not just bring your own device, but being connected anywhere, and that it's will proliferate throughout your organisation. Let me just see if I can black this out. There we go. Okay, so let's try and concentrate, and I won't get distracted by the slides. So let me take you just a little place into the future, very just tiny step. Let's see what it's like, where your workforce are more connected than ever before. People can work anywhere, on any device. They can choose the device that they wish to work on. They collaborate and they communicate over their choice of tools, be it video, instant message, text, email sometimes. And people are feeling really empowered and able to choose how they work, where they work. They're working at home, they're working at the office, on the train, walking down to the shops to pick the kids up from school. But they're choosing how they work and what device they're on, and they're seamlessly working from one device to another in a place that's right, depending on the type of work they're doing at that time. So, project teams can collaborate from around the world. They collaborate using video or tools, and they're able to get products to market more quickly as a result. They can make decisions more quickly because they don't have to wait for people to get into the office. People are able to learn and develop from anywhere. There are a plethora of video-based training, face-to-face, recorded sessions, and they're all delivered and available to anybody, on any device, anywhere they are. People still come to the office for face-to-face training, but the majority of training is actually done remotely at a time that suits them. Devices have proliferated. Half of your IT services are now delivered from the cloud, and over 70% of the data on your network is video. People are carrying, on average, 3.3 mobile devices. I do have a stat for that. And employee satisfaction is way up. Some of those devices are managed by IT, some of them are managed by themselves. So people are happier, satisfaction is up, and attrition in your company is down. Your company is seen as the best place to work because you have an empowered culture where you really enable people to work how they want to work, how they feel fit to work at any one time. And as a result, you attract the best talent. You also attract a really diverse workforce because you're not just attracting the people that can go and be in an office 9 to 5, you're attracting working parents, people that live remotely, people from all around the world, people who are less physically able to get to an office every day, but all are able to make a significant and valuable contribution to the business without being tied to a 9 to 5 desk. IT are able to deliver new services more quickly and at scale than ever before, without spiralling costs and complexity. Consolidated office space means you do have less space, but the space you have is more flexible, it's much better attended. People come to the office and there's a real buzz about the place because as people drop in and drop out of different workspaces, come in for real-time events or to have high-quality video conversations, they're actually collaborating together. And as a result, your workspace is much more efficient and effective. So removing the shackles to the desk has enabled you to be more flexible with the space you have. It's enabled you to be more open, to get different types of people and different types of worker to the workspaces that you have available. Indeed, the workplace has evolved to a workspace that is carried with you. Overall, employees feel empowered, productive, and have a truly heightened working and learning experience. The new working culture has been embraced and driven from senior leadership all the way down, working with IT, HR, facilities, estates, and all lines of business to make sure this is truly is a new way of working, and that it's about a new workplace, a workspace, and a new, more efficient workforce. So the great news about all that is it's really not that far in the future at all. All of this is absolutely available to be delivered today and is being delivered today. And in fact, many of you will all be very far along the way to this journey yourselves. The great news is that, I think I've got two mics here. Is that, can you actually hear me here? I think I'm, okay, fine. We have a new connected workforce. Every year, Cisco does a survey of the 18 to 30 generation. And it's published every year, and today was the publication of the latest report. So the Connected World report, interestingly, last year we were greatly surprised to find that a third of people who answered the survey stated at that time that they would take a job with more flexibility over a job with more salary. This year, we're surprised to find that, well, we're not surprised to find that smartphones really taken over. You know, we know it's happening. You've only got to look out there to know it's happening. But currently, as of just today, a third now prefer laptops and a third prefer smartphones, if they only could have one device. So a third of people in the workforce would rather have just one smartphone than have a laptop. There we go. And no great surprise here, but just a few of what the connected generation is doing. 9 in 10 are getting up, checking the smartphone, then having breakfast and getting dressed and brushing their teeth. It's part of their normal routine. So if this is happening out there, it is going to come into the workplace, and it is coming into the workplace today. And are people getting just a little bit maybe addicted to this? Some people are. I know 41% of people in the UK that answered said they'd feel anxious, like some part of them was missing if they couldn't check their smartphone constantly. And in fact, 1 in 4 say that they can't remember how often they check it so often. A third say that they check it every half an hour. Every half an hour? You know, people's expectations of how they access information in real time in the workplace will change, have changed, and are changing. Worryingly, 80% wish they didn't feel quite so compelled. And I think that's a really good indication of how, just because the tools are there, means that we have to put in the right expectations and culture to make sure that a healthy balance is maintained, and that people understand that they don't have to check things every single minute, but maybe they want to and feel connected off the back of that. So these are some of the transitions that we'll see. Now, if you're not convinced that the connected generation are going to demand things to be done differently, then consider this. In February 2012, there were 850,000 Android activations per day around the world. Devices are proliferating. It is going crazy. For the first time ever this year, mobile computing devices outpaced PC sales. They not only outpaced them, they doubled. For the first time ever, PC sales have gone down. Mobile device traffic is growing at a rate of 92%. And two-thirds of the world's data traffic will be video by 2016. So it's growing, and it's going to be video. Apple sold 55 million iPads in the last 18 months, more than all the Apple Macs they ever sold, ever. And that doesn't even include the iPad Mini, which I do have my eye on for Christmas. So devices are coming into the workplace, and people want to use them. So brings me to bring your own device. So bring your own device is a bit of a buzzword. It is a phenomenon, and it is being driven by not just people wanting to use the latest shiny toys, although frankly there is a bit of that, but actually it's about productivity, and it's about giving people choice, which drives satisfaction. So bring your own device for me is about productivity and employee satisfaction. However, it's not just about bringing your own device. It's about a much wider phenomenon than that, about mobile working in general. So mobile working is actually about changing the workspace as well as the workplace. Let me give you an example of something that happened to me that actually really brought home to me how important it is to have tools that are available and a flexible culture that enables people to work their way. When I came back to work from maternity leave, I found myself in a real quandary. As a single parent who had been used to working long hours, leaving early and coming home late from the office, suddenly I found myself about to go back to work, and my God, who knew that nurseries are only open between 8 and 6? I truly couldn't believe it. But I thought, well, what am I going to do? And I went through a whole spectrum of different thoughts and different decisions. At one point, I was going to leave Cisco and go and get a job more locally, because if I couldn't drop off until 8 o'clock and I had to pick up before 6 o'clock, I live an hour and a quarter away from our office in rush hour. It just wasn't going to work. I thought, well, maybe I'll reduce my working hours, reduce my money, maybe take a less senior job. Okay, but maybe it's just for a couple of years. Maybe I'll just have to plateau my career for a couple of years. Maybe I'll take less days and work something out that way. Eventually I didn't, and it was only when I really realised that how lucky I was to work for a company like Cisco that really does have an empowered working culture, and that how much for granted I'd taken that beforehand, and just taken for granted the tools that get provided. So I went back to work, and I found that since I'd been off, they'd introduced this bring your own device thing. So I didn't have to have the fixed Samsung device anymore. I could actually buy my own iPhone, and I'd get corporate email on it, I'd get WebEx on it, I'd get instant message on it, I'd get access to some corporate applications. And I found that I was able to take my son to work to the nursery, and then at 8:15, get on the WebEx, join the call, maybe just listen on audio in the car, get to the office. I don't get on the 7 o'clock train to Manchester or London anymore, but if I'm going to London, I get on the 8:23 train, and I can work on my iPad productively all the way in. There's a stat that 75 minutes a day is spent by the average person commuting into London. And I can believe that because I'm one of those people. Thankfully, I don't have to commute in every day, but I do sometimes. And I don't have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning anymore to drive to Manchester, because now I can drive, I can work at home in the morning and then drive half an hour, not in rush hour, to the office and get on a telepresence call and have my meeting over telepresence to Manchester. I don't have to go there anymore. So all of these tools, a combination of bring your own device, yes, a combination of a really open culture and mobile policy, and a combination of things like WebEx and collaboration tools and instant message, but the ability to choose the right place to work at any one time has meant that I've been able to stay completely engaged in my work. I still have to pick my son up at 6 o'clock, but I can go home and spend an hour with him. And I can do work on the go, and I can get my job done. And I just think if that's made such an impact to me, I just wish that more people could have that sort of option in their lives as well. And friends of mine who went back to work to 3-day weeks, admin jobs in a fixed office, wouldn't it be great if more people could have that opportunity as well? Give me a honk. How many minutes? I'm out. Okay, so that took longer than I thought. That was well rehearsed. So I just want to ask you to think about, if you're going to bring your own device, isn't about cost savings, but you can save money. And mobile working isn't about shutting offices, but you may end up with less office space. Bring your own device is about productivity and employee satisfaction. And mobile working is about shifting the workspace to somewhere that can be carried with you. And ultimately, we're moving to a place where work styles change, the workspace will come with you with the technology, and as a result, we'll have a more engaged, more empowered workforce, and that the network effect is behind that, supporting it all. Thank you very much.